Where did your fascination with flying come from?
Yeah, my fascination with flying came from mostly nature. Seeing all the birds, and especially the birds around the cliffside climb, just playing joyously in the air. And the air to me as a climber at the time, I've been climbing almost 30 years, meant death. If I entered the air, it meant I was dying. And then I'd see the birds playing in the air and so free and happy. And I was like, wow, and it means death to me, but it's free and happy for the birds. So I just want, my main philosophy in life is to go towards my fears, and I wanted to push into that. And I would see base jumpers occasionally, jumping overhead when I was climbing, or wingsuit flyers flying by me while I was on the wall. And I was like, wow, those people are playing in the air. I want to play in the air, so to me, base jumping, and I don't like that word. It's an acronym. It means building, antenna, span, earth. That's what BASE stands for. Because you're jumping off of objects, buildings, antennas, spans, earth. And I mostly just jump off of earth, cliffs and big walls and stuff. So I like to say it's more human body flying, because we form our bodies into a bird's wing and we fly our bodies, even without a wingsuit. With what I'm wearing right now, I can fly more forward than I drop. So the word base jumping always kind of aggravates me a little bit, but I use it myself, and I more think of it as like being a bird or human body flying.
Can you make a living off of your dream flying?
Yeah, my progression as a professional sportsman or artist, mountain artist, came in I didn't expect it. I dropped out of college after a year and a half, and and then I just focused on climbing, and I lived in the different climbing areas, and I made very little money, like $100 a week or something like that, barely enough to eat. But I just climbed and climbed and climbed, and sometimes I didn't even make that much money, and I would just live in caves, and pretty much some people would say I was a homeless man. So for like 8 years, I just focused on climbing. I didn't care about anything but climbing. It was kind of like sort of dysfunctional, in society, but became a really good climber. And then companies started to take interest in me because I did things that no one else had done, and started asking me to endorse their products. And then from that, I started getting into gear development and designing gear, because a lot of what I do is innovation. And so that applies to gear and clothing. And so I design clothing and gear for companies. And so I started to be a little bit more of a businessman. And then I started to learn about marketing, because I'd take a lot of pictures and video, and I could see, oh wow, we can influence the public through these pictures and videos and writings. And so I started to write. And at first I didn't like writing, but I was like, wow, I can use my words and my mind instead of my body. And influence people and for good, for the good of the world. And so I got really passionate about that, and some of my passion for sport and art became passion towards helping people and pushing people to live their dreams. And so my primary philosophy is still to focus on my art, because I've seen if I focus on my art and focus on what I truly love, everything else kind of takes care of itself.
Tell us about your flying suit.
Yeah, right now I'm putting a lot of energy into the wingsuit, the flying suit, or some people call it the squirrel suit. And the last 8 or 9 months I've been innovating a new flying suit, and I've done this since 2008, where I've done the longest flights in the world consistently since 2009. And it's not, a lot of it is because I train a lot and I fly a lot, but more so it's because I do my homework, and I spend months, like this time, the last 8 or 9 months, not flying very much, just focusing on designing the best wingsuit. So I'm working actually now with a NASA scientist, Maxim de Jong, designing a better wingsuit. And so now me, this caveman type guy, is working with this NASA scientist, making the best wingsuits in the world. And his life has gone in this whole new way, like from this guy who was kind of homeless, living in caves, barely getting by, to now working with NASA, designing wingsuits. And it all just came from you know, following my passion.